Hey cats, it's running shoe yay or nay time with your good buddy, self-proclaimed shoe enthusiast EDDBUD. Yay or Nay is a series where I talk about some forthcoming running shoes and let you know whether I'm going to pick them up or not for review. It could be that I feel some other YouTuber out there is going to give you a better rundown and a fairer crack of the whip with that particular shoe. It's not me saying that a shoe's terrible or it's fantastic. Of course I don't know that until I've got it in hand and on foot. 4 shoes to get through, let's get to it. Welcome back to the channel, people, or if it's your first time here, where have you been? Help the channel to continue to grow by hitting that subscribe button. Also, click the bell below for notifications when I roll them out for you. You can also help us out a whole bunch by giving this video a thumbs up like, but also sharing it with your running buddies. Hit me up with a super thanks as well if you're particularly enjoying the content and want to get one of your questions straight to the mind of EDDBUD. Shoe number 1. We're looking at the ASICS MAGICSPEED 2. This now appears to have been released over here in the UK, or Tax Island as I like to call it. A major midsole update over the V1 with a full-length plate, though the info I have does suggest it's carbon and TPU. What does that mean exactly? Is it some sort of strange blend? It doesn't appear to be a full carbon plate though, with some other material mixed in there. That might not matter at all because you'll never actually see it. Perhaps it's a bid to position the MAGICSPEED as a competitor to the Saucony Endorphin Speed series. I found the use case of the MAGICSPEED V1 to be quite niche really, only for very fast sessions. It was a bit more firm, bit more responsive, perhaps not something that you'd want to use on a more daily basis like the Speed. ASICS have continued to update those models with Flight Foam Blast Plus here, as per the Nova Blast 3 and the Nimbus 24 released earlier this year. Perhaps this is going to confuse people a little bit as to which shoe is going to work best for them. Maybe the introduction of Flight Foam Blast Plus here in the MAGICSPEED 2 will actually move the Nova Blast 3 more into a daily category, perhaps moving the Nimbus 24 to a more long-range sort of shoe. For me, it does seem that this is the ASICS version of the Zoomfly Flyknit, a shoe to kind of utilise as a partner alongside the top-range race shoe, which of course is the ASICS Metaspeed Sky Plus or Edge Plus. Perhaps a more durable training option to utilise alongside that Metaspeed Sky Plus, though I have to say the difference between Flight Foam Blast Plus and Flight Foam Turbo is quite considerable really. If you've tried one of those shoes out, you'll know what I'm talking about. A yay for me in the near future for the MAGICSPEED 2 from ASICS. Shoe 2. Winter is coming, and that means Nike are bound to do some of their Shield releases of the Pegasus and other models. Here we have the Pegasus 39 Shield. Just like clockwork, they're in with a Shield version of the famous Pegasus shoe. This time we have a water repellent sheath around the foot. Help keep those toes cozy and hopefully dry during the winter months. It's been a reasonably dry sort of year in the UK, so I reckon we might get some serious deluges soon. You know it's going to happen. Always goes like that. We have hosepipe bans and then a few months later there's a flood warning. The outsole is also switched up from the standard version with a very gnarly storm tread design that's probably suited to wetter surfaces and conditions. The gusseted tongue obviously designed to keep some of the water out, whilst the rubber patterns on the outsole perhaps designed to shed some of that water a little easier. Now in my experience, water repellent uppers do the trick most of the time. The problem is if you get water inside the shoe, it's got nowhere to escape, so the disadvantages kind of nullify some of the benefits a little bit. If you're going out there in some serious wet weather, water's bound to get inside the shoe somehow, and once it's there it just sloshes around and it's somewhat uncomfortable. I've tried waterproof socks as well and exactly the same thing happens. You just get a load of water inside the shoe and nowhere for it to escape, and there's nothing for it to be absorbed by either. As such, I think unless there's a serious call from the viewers for me to pick up the Pegasus 39 Shield, I probably won't bother. It's not really a shoe that I'm all that excited about, and especially when you're paying 120 Earth credits for something that's a little bit niche that you're probably only going to use a few times, you can get away with standard running shoes most of the time in wet weather, if you're careful. So it's a nay for the inflated price tag of 120 Earth credits for the Pegasus 39 Shield. Shoe 3. We're sticking with those winterized releases for a little while. You know there's going to be a whole bunch of them over the next few months. Here we have the Adidas ULTRABOOST 22 Cold Ready 2.0. Now these are 170 Earth credits, which again for a niche use shoe is pretty considerable. A bit of an anti-budget offering from the Three Stripe brand here. At least they've made some attempts to make it a little easier to adjust the shoe using that toggle design lacing system. Perhaps easier removal of the shoe when your hands are frozen after you've been out there in the elements. No midsole changes here with that reliable Boost midsole underfoot, but it seems the upper has been changed up to better facilitate some wet weather running, which I have to be honest, the original knit used in the ULTRABOOST 22 was not really suited for. Adidas have drastically altered the outsole design in this version of the shoe, slightly deeper lugs and a rearranged blocky pattern to the protrusions. I think if the ULTRABOOST 22's been a shoe that's really been working for you over the last few months, then this winterized update could be right up your street. It must be remembered that Boost does have an extremely consistent performance when the temperatures begin to drop. That isn't always the case for some of those very squashy and compressive foams. A lot of those fall down in those type of conditions, so don't forget, it's horses for courses with running shoes. Far too pricey for me though, at 170 Earth credits for a niche winterized shoe. It's just not going to happen. A nay for me on the ULTRABOOST 22 Cold Ready 2.0. Shoe 4. Last but by no means least, it's really exciting to see a new shoe from Reebok. They've updated their Symmetros model with a second version, featuring an updated upper, still with the stability elements in the heel and the outsole. These appear to be coming in only a touch heavier than the Energy 3 and 4. I really enjoyed those shoes. The Energy 4 is just a great kind of casual running shoe if you want to pick up something to do a little bit of running. It's mega cheap and it really does the job. In the Symmetros, of course, we have that extra midsole stack, and it makes for a great budget long run shoe model. Reebok reckon on a weight here for the sample size in the Symmetros 2 of about 286 grams. There's a slightly higher drop than the Energy 3 and 4 of 10mm. I think that orange flare, core black and acid yellow is a fire look, and I think the outsole of the Symmetros 2 is a little bit more suited to some autumn and winter running. There's more protrusions there, the grips are a little bit improved over the Energy 3 and 4. Does look as if they've tweaked the upper a little bit, certainly to support around the midfoot and the heel. There's almost like a sling-like section around the heel that does remind me of some of the designs that we've seen in the Adidas Adizero models recently. It's a yay from me for the Symmetros 2 from Reebok. That's all 4 shoes in today's yay or nay. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on these down in the comments. Musical interlude time. We're travelling back to 2001 today with the fantastic Soul Jacker by Eels. Can't quite believe that this album's 21 years old. It's still one that I listen to on a quite regular basis. It's very fuzzy, this one. It reminds me of like a shaggy dog. Dog-Faced Boy, in fact, is the first track here. And there's lots of very gnarly, uncouth guitars. Though it's not all like that on this album, you've got a wonderful track called Fresh Feeling, which has these beautiful strings and the very calm woman driving, man sleeping. Yeovil legend John Parrish appears on this album from the Eels. I think he had some production duties on it too. I do like the quite disturbing That's Not Really Funny, which is the second track on the album. There's quite a sinister vibe about that one. You do occasionally have that on Eels records. They're either really beautiful or quite sort of sinister, but from a humorous perspective. Do go and check this out from Eels. They're one of those bands that have sort of disappeared really from the mainstream. Not that they were ever really part of that, but this one is particularly great. How anyone can be worried about E here with his dog, I don't know. Thanks for tuning in, people, and sticking with me to the end of today's video. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications. Also, give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you